Hey again, welcome to My Green Pets. I'm William Green. I got more growth to show you this week. And I also repotted my Paphiopedilum. So let's go over there and have a look real quick, because I had given up on them for a while. Alright, here are my three little paphs left over from what used to be a pretty big paph collection before I moved out here to Colorado. We got Michael Kopowitz, and this is a full-grown plant that's bloomed twice, but you can just see it's very small right now because it has not been happy for the past few years. This is a little Paph villosum that I got as a seedling. It ended up blooming, and then shortly after blooming it began to decline and is not in great shape. Right behind it we have Paph callosum that really looks the best of the three. But I read Dustin's How to Care for Paphiopedilum Orchids today. I read his article, Here But Not. And I had browsed and scanned a lot of his material before, but I really read it carefully today. And so I'm going to see if I can keep up with his recommendations for the next few months. See if we see any improvement in these guys. So they're potted in. This is just Gobbler fine grade orchid bark that I bought at Lowe's Home Improvement. It looks like it's half fine grade bark and half perlite. And all three of these plants had living roots, just not very many of them. And there were really no dead ones. There were no really dead rotting roots or anything. So the plants it's like they've just kind of been in stasis for a while. So gave them a good soaking, squirted some fertilizer in there as well. And per Dustin's recommendation, I left just a little bit of water in the drip trays. Hopefully just enough that will dry out in a day or two. And I'm going to try to do my best to keep these consistently moist and see if there's any improvement. Bulbophyllum echinolabium is pushing out a nice new growth there, getting bigger and bigger. Hopefully it's going to be at least as big as the previous growth. Next to that we've got Cattleya. You can see has got a little green nubbin poking through down there. Looks like that's going to be the new growth. I don't know if it's going to be big enough to bloom, but it could be. Right here, Mormodia jumbo world, nice new growth pushing out with roots. That's the only growth I've spotted so far. I do expect to see more. Seed pod is still seeming to do well there. My little Pinguicula, it's gotten quite a bit bigger. Even a little bit of red tips on the leaves, but they're all kind of folded up, which makes me think it's still in some kind of winter phase. I haven't let it dry out completely all winter, but I have let the water reservoir dry up. And I was checking out California Carnivore's site, and they recommend a rockier mix for these guys, so I might actually just order their pre-made ping mix and see if that doesn't make this guy even happier. Got new growth on all these guys. Oops, moving things around. New growth. New leaf opening up there, and a couple of new growths on Trionycations. Two new growths actually. This thing just grows like a monster. Bulbophyllum medusae got growth pushing out of the basket, climbing out of the basket, and then a nice new one down here. Cattleya dowiana, rosita, growing right along. Got some new roots just pushing, and hopefully those are going to go straight towards that cork and grab hold of it. Get it nice firmly mounted on there. This little Cattleya rex seedling of my own breeding. This is Rex by Inti by Kia, and it's just putting out its first little side leaf. That's cool. seedlings looking all right. This is Inti with a new growth pushing. Still doesn't look super big, but it's growing. More seedlings over here. This is a Cattleya labiata with a really nice, some really nice root action. Good to see. Cattleya trione, AC bridge, 2 new growths. That one looks pretty decent size. Cattleya hardiana finishing up its new growth, and it's got these little fly-like bugs with shiny wings. And I know these came from Fantasy Orchids, where I had my plants for a little while. I'm not sure what they are, but I had them before and they kind of disappeared after a few months, so I'm hoping if I just keep catching them and squishing them, they won't come back. Bulbophyllums growing nicely. All these leaves are opening up now. Larger seedlings here, looking pretty good. New growth on this little Rex here. This is just out of flask a couple years ago, but it's really doing well. Got Rebecca Northern grapefruit pink down here with a new growth poking out. This guy's also got a new growth. This is a new hybrid from Fred Clark. It's got a new growth pushing. Dendrochilum tenellum still looking cool with its little flowers. Couple more bulbos back here. Signoca's Cooperies, new growth, starting to become really visible there. And then we have Cattleya maxima, 5 growths, 3 big ones and 2 smaller ones pushing out. And then we've got Cattleya rex in Mayu back here with 2 new growths. Keeping an eye on that for any signs of rot at the base of the back bulbs there. And then Cattleya rex white's got 2 nice growths pushing out there. Great to see. And then my pair of Rexes that are mounted here, stuck in a large pot. You can see a nice big growth back here on Nina. And then there's also growth right here on Unu. Last year, between the 2 of them, there were 5 new growths. I can see 3 right now, but I have a feeling there will be more. That's it, just a quick update. Grow, grow, grow. That's what's happening now. Looking for, hopefully we're gonna see some Rex flowers on this plant in 3 months or so. That's the hope. Alright guys, take care, have a good week. This is William Green. I'll see you later. Bye.